PCI Sports presentation. John Caparenis, Harry Patis, Bob Church. Pleased to be bringing it to you. First down, 10 yards to go. Wing T in the backfield. Seach will throw. Seach, little lob pass, incomplete. Intending it for Gooch at the 15-yard line, but plenty of up-front pressure applied by Magadore.
And Magadore's coach, Norm Lingle, felt that they're going to have to apply that up-front pressure to be successful. So far, they've done a pretty good job of keeping Seach on the run. And the Indians have had to counter with a little bit more option and a little less pass up to now.
Second down, 10 yards to go from the Magadore 19-yard line. Man in motion, Johnny Gooch. Seach, quarterback draw. Seach inside the 15. Seach to the 10, looking for a block. Seach down to the 5, to the 4, down to possibly the 3-yard line. But a flag on the play back at the 24-yard line of Magadore.
And we're going to get a motion call against the Indians, a costly one at that.
It will nullify a 14-yard pickup by the quarterback, Bill Seach. And Seach, quite a story in himself, Harry.
Oh, he really is. In fact, you don't like to point to one man as being the key to a ball club, but Bill Seach certainly makes things happen for the Mingo Indians out there. And without him, you wonder where they'd be.
Not only on the field, but academically carrying over a 4-point average. He's been scouted by some of the top collegiate teams in the country.
Definite prospect for any fine academic institution as well as athletic institution. The other thing that needs to be mentioned is the fact that when you look at 1986 when Mingo was 0-10, they are now in 1988 10-0.
Second playoff appearance for the Indians. First one occurred back in the 1983 campaign. They went up to Mollenkoff Stadium in Warren and took on a tough Ashtabula St. John's ball club, coming up on the short end of a 27-20 score. Seach in trouble, going to be sacked. Back at the 35-yard line, and again, Magadore applying a lot of heat to senior quarterback Bill Seach.
Well, Jerry Owens, number 44, getting the tremendous penetration here, fights off the block, and down goes Seach. Owens with a fine defensive play.
A loss on the play of 11. That'll set up third down. And about 25 to go for the Indians. Out of the eye in the backfield. Draw play. Creech breaks into the open. No, that is Creed Peters. Peters down inside the 30 to the 25-yard line. A pickup by... That was Creech. That was Creech, the ball carrier. A pickup of about 10. That'll set up fourth down and about 15 yards to go for Mingo.
Obvious passing down. They went with the quick hitter. And now we have another one.
Out of the shotgun. Seach looking. Firing deep. Has a man intercepted and down in the end zone. Let's see if they're going to count it.
Well, they'll mark it at the 1 or possibly the 2-yard line.
They're going to mark it at the 2 on fourth down. I don't think the Magadore defensive back especially wanted to do that, Joey Adolph.
No, that was a prayer more or less by Seach, hoping for perhaps a catch or an interference call, but Adolph decides he's going to pick it off, and he does so right here at the 2-yard line, then gets dragged into the end zone. Official marking it properly at the 2, but the Wildcats finding themselves in a hole at this point.
Field position definitely up to this juncture of the ball game when we have 6:25 remaining here in the first quarter, belonging to the Mingo Indians. And Magadore in the shadow of their own goalpost. Jeff Meehan, the quarterback, gives the ball to the first man through, and hard hitting brings Todd Bean, his brother, down after about a 2-yard pickup. See where they spot his forward progress. They're going to give him the 5-yard line, so call it a 3-yard pickup by Todd Meehan. And second down, 7 yards to go for Magadore.
Well, if you're Mingo, this is exactly where you want to have Magadore, deep in their own territory, where It's a little bit risky to get into your offensive game plan.
Randy Pierce split to the near side. Again, the first man through, breaks a tackle, gets up to about the 8-yard line. And again, it's his brother Todd Mee in the ball carrier. Brought down by the entire middle of the Mingo defense, led by John McFall. McFall at the nose guard, one of the keys defensively in the ball game for Mingo.
Oh, he really is. If they can keep McFall out of the defense, they're going to be successful. But he's a load in there to try to move out. He really has the combination of quickness and size.
Third down, 3 yards to go. Again, running room, does not make it. Gets up just outside the 10-yard line. Had to get to the 12. And that will set up a 4th down, again, punting situation for Magadore. As the Wildcats that time send Brian Brake, a 170-pound senior, into the line. We'll watch it again.
Look at his defensive surge here by Mingo. Brake just unable to get anywhere. Nothing but white jerseys around. And forces the Wildcats into the punting situation.
Dan Wiley in on the stop defensively for Mingo. 4th down punting situation from his own end zone. Short kick again that Peters will take at the 38 and hit hard at that point. Good punt coverage by the Magadore Wildcats. John Craven's coming up with a hit. 28-yard punt, a loss of 2 on the return, and Mingo will have it again in superb field position, 1st and 10 at the Magadore 40-yard line.
Well, the Indians definitely getting the benefit of the better field position, but thus far, Magadore's defense is hung tough.
This time Gooch will split about, will make it flank about 15 to the right side. Seach under pressure, going to be sacked. Back at the 49-yard line of Mingo, and that time, coming in unmolested for the Magadore Wildcats, defensive tackle Kevin Hume.
Hume just broke through there virtually untouched, and Seach never had a chance. Watch again, bottom of your screen, here he comes. Seach goes to roll right. Hume would have nothing of it, and a big loss for Mingo. One thing, though, is when they do lose yardage, they can pick it back up in a hurry.
On the drop play, a little bit of running room by David Creech. He moves it inside the 45 down to the 44. 7-yard pickup by the 190-pound senior. That'll set up 3rd down. And let's count it about 14 yards to go for the Indians. Neither team's converted on 3rd down up to this point. Mingo 0 for 2, Magadore 0 for 2 in that category. 3 minutes exactly remaining, first quarter of the scoreless ball game. Again, out of the I formation in the backfield. Siege dumps it off, incomplete, intended on the far side for Johnny Gooch, and the incompleted pass will set up a 4th down punting situation for Mingo.
And another fine defensive job by Magadore. A game we expected to be high scoring, but Wildcats have thwarted every kind of a threat that Mingo's been able to muster because they've gotten a good defensive surge.
Seach will do the punting. He'll be standing at about his own 43-yard line, and there's the 2 deep men from Magadore at about their own 15-yard stripe. Seach on the boots. High, spiraling, deep kick. Fair catch indicated and grabbed inside the 5 at the 3-yard line. Another mental mistake by Joey Adolph. Usually when you have the ball inside the 10 in the air, you let it try to get into the end zone. 39-yard boot by Seach, no return, and again, Magadore with extremely poor field position will have it 1st and 10.
Well, so far it's been Seach's foot that has dominated this game as he's been able to pin the Wildcats deep on, well, he did it with his foot one time and with his arm the next, but Magadore digging its own hole for itself the last 2 possessions.
Comes Joey Adolph out of the ball game. Norm Lingo going to have a little friendly chat with him. And Magadore might have to expend a timeout. A little bit of confusion they are. They're going to Either that or there's an equipment problem on the part of one of the Wildcat ball players. And Magadore again is going to use their first time out of the ball game. It'll stop the clock with 2 minutes 36 seconds remaining here in the first quarter of a scoreless ball game.
Now the good news so far in this game is that Mingo has had excellent field position, has had the ball in Magadore territory on 3 occasions. The bad news is there's still a goose egg on the scoreboard for the Indians. And if you look at Magadore, they have to be pleased with the way the defense has gone so far. As they've been able to get the big play defensively, coming in on Seach on a number of occasions to spill in for big losses. And Indians haven't been able to recover from those particular losses. It's really been the story of the game so far. Now Magadore would like to get out from under the shadow of their own goalposts here and see if they can get something going in terms of the offense. There you see that stat that we were talking about just momentarily. The 86 team 0-10, 88 team 10-0. What a turnaround.
And he's only losing 12 ball players from this year's ball club, so the tradition should continue for Coach Satch Herrick.
Kind of reminds you of the Pirates in reverse, doesn't it? Go on record for those of you that don't know it. We are Pirate fans, however. Mingo Indians 88 season. There you see it. And they defensively have been tough. The Weird Madonna game was 22-20. That's the most points they allowed in a ball game. Mostly scoring their points in the 20s. Really had to battle hard to beat a tough Toronto ball club 3-0.
First down, 10 yards to go, and play is resumed for the Wildcats. Magadore 9-1, their only loss of the year against Louisville St. Thomas Aquinas. And in that ball game in the second quarter, Magadore led 21-0. Out of the full house, and first man through for nothing. Be talking with defensive coordinator John Bracone for Mingo at halftime, and he said one of the things that Mingo's going to try to do tonight is stop the running game of Magadore, try to force them to put it in the air, and thus far, that defensive game plan has been played to perfection.
And it's been tough. You know, Magadore's field position so far, they've been on their own 25, their own 2, and their own 5. That's where they've started their drives. Mingo, on the other hand, from their own 47, Magadore's 47, and Magadore's 40.
Second down again, full house in the backfield. This time, Meehan puts it up, overthrows the intended receiver. His brother Todd Meehan out at the 10-yard line. So that'll set up third down. 10 yards to go for Magadore, again from their own 5-yard line. There you see Randy Rouse. High hurdle and low hurdle state qualifier in track. And quite a receiver in football. He's averaging over 32 yards per catch on the season.
He's a burner.
Third down, 10 yards to go. Magadore again with the full house. Jeff Meehan looking. Jeff Meehan firing the ball, has a man open. Pass is complete outside the 20 and knocked out of Magadore Wildcats. Randy Pearson, he's only a freshman.
Well, Pierce runs a fine pattern to the outside here and comes back for the football. Meehan finds him for the first down, and that is exactly the medicine that Magadore needed offensively to get some operating room.
First down of the ball game for the Wildcats. Comes with 1 minute 50 seconds remaining first quarter. And again, Magadore out of the full house. And
that particular drive was the third down play inside their 5-yard line. That's what kept it alive, and then it was capped by the 14-yard pass to Adolph. North Canton Hoover High School Stadium, 7-0. Magadore has jumped on top. Remind you, this game is being brought to you by TCI Cablevision of Ohio. Harry Patus here, along with John Caparandis and Bob Church, bringing you the play-by-play action. Really pleased to be with you. Looking at some first quarter stacks quickly. In the rushing category, Magadore with 34 in a mere 2 minutes and 36 seconds. Gives you an idea of how explosive the offense of the Wildcats is. And while we were away, a flag had been thrown on the extra point. There were too many men on the field, and it'll result in the ball being kicked off at the 45-yard line. Mingo obviously will either be pinned back deep, or the Wildcats will elect to kick it short. See what happens.
Boyer on the kickoff, a line drive kick that Lucier will take in the goal line, 5, 10, and hit hard at the 11-yard line.